Hey everyone, welcome back. This is the Sun Devil Learning Lab. My name is Mrs. Wilson, and this is fifth grade ELA. I have lots of fun stuff with you, so come on and let's go have fun. Things you'll need today, let me move myself. The things you'll need today is your ELA notebook. If you don't have it, you just need an extra piece of paper and a clear workspace. Go ahead and pause your screen and get ready. All right, everybody ready? Here we go. Let's review. With Miss Mooney, the last time you guys were with her, you guys went over main ideas in an informational text, analyzing a first-hand human rights account. And your guys' objective was, I can find the main idea in a first-hand account in a human right account. So that is wonderful. That will definitely tie into our lesson today. We're going to continue to work on main ideas. And let's find out. So today's topic is main ideas in informational text. So we're going to be analyzing a first-hand human rights account for connections to specific articles of the UDHR. Now, if you guys remember those are those articles that we read where everyone was free. Also, the human rights account that we're going to use is the story that we read the last time you were with Mrs. Wilson, and we'll go over that more here soon. So our objective today is, I can prove a point by citing a first-hand example in a human right account. Now, don't worry, I'll remind you as we go on, but first we're gonna play a game. Now this game is, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this or that, where there's two things and you have to choose one. Even if you don't like either one of them, the game is you have to choose one over the other. So one may be like soda and water, and it's either this or that. Which one would you choose? And usually in the sun, you would want to choose water. So this is this or that with an online twist, because it's online. So first, I'm going to show you two, and you guys get to choose this or that. So when it's your turn to choose, you're going to talk amongst whoever you're sitting with, or you can think it in your brain, or you can even put it in your ELA notebook, however you want to answer that. Then, second, I will give you some clues as to what I pick. So I pick something, and then I'm going to give you some hints, and then you'll get to guess using my key details examples. So it's kind of like when we're reading information and we see all these things and we want to back it up to what like the main idea is. So after you guys get to choose, Mrs. Wilson will give you little clues or like details, and you'll get to choose which one Miss Wilson picked. Are you guys ready? Ready to play? You buy somebody, got your stuff ready? All right, here we go. So the first one, this or that. So this looks like a dog, so it could be any dog, or that. Which one would you guys choose? Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves and your partners, and we'll see what you guys chose. All right, so here's my clues. There's like biscuits. I don't know if you've ever seen that. They kind of look like a bone. Then you got a house, but it's kind of tiny, fits a certain type of person or thing. And then it looks like you got some pet food, a certain type of pet food. And I don't know if you see these, but there's some pause as to what I picked. You guys ready to find out what I picked? Did you guys pick dog? So I picked dog out of the two because I am a dog owner. So this is my dog, Elsa. So I'm gonna get her right now so you guys can meet her in person. You guys remember Adrian? I had Adrian bring her first. She's kind of nervous because she's never been on TV before. It's okay, girl. This is Elsa. You guys pop down and say hi. Hey. There's Adrian. Now, Mrs. Wilson has 3 more kids and a dog. So you might get to see them throughout the summer, but this is Elsa, and this is why I chose Doug. I chose Ditch, huh? We'll go ahead and let her go because she's nervous. Isn't she cute? All right, let's go to the second one. This or that. So this appears like somebody's reading, and that looks like somebody's journaling or writing something down. Now, out of the two, you either may love both or you may not like either one. It doesn't matter. Choose one, write it down or share it with your partner, and then we'll get to see what Mrs. wrote. Okay? So here's my clues. You guys remember me from last time? I was reading to you guys and I had to take a picture of myself reading. And this is Esperanza Rising. We're going to be reading that next week, excuse me. And it looks like there's some books over there. So what do you guys think that I chose? If you guessed reading, good job. What did you guys choose? Was it reading or writing? All right, let's go to our next one. Those are great. So this or that? Is it swimming or riding a bike? Which one would you guys choose? Sorry guys, you probably heard my little guy in the video. He's just wanting me to download a game for him. We got him a tablet and they're just all excited about all these new games. So this or that, swimming or riding a bike. This may be a hard one or it may be super easy. I don't know. Go ahead and choose. Share it with your partner. Wonderful. Now these are some hints as to what Mrs. Wilson picked. We got glasses, sunglasses to be correct. This looks kind of funny, but it's supposed to be a beach towel and then different types of sunblock. Which one do you think that I chose? All right, if you chose swimming, you got it. I love to swim. Swimming is my favorite summer activity. I wish I could do it all year long. Yesterday we went out to like a creek where we live and we got to swim. It was so much fun. I love doing cannonballs, and then me and my nieces and nephews were like seeing who could hold their breath under the water, and we were doing handstand challenges and seeing who could do a front flip or a back flip, but I love to swim. Now that was hard for me because I like to ride my bike too. I just got like a tricycle, but a bigger one, and it has like the basket in the back. It's really awesome. What did you guys choose? What's your favorite summer activity? That sounds great. I'm looking forward to seeing what those were. That's amazing. All right, well, let's dive in today. So kind of to go back to our thing, we're going to use an informational text, which yesterday we used the story NEPALIS. Oh, teaching NEPALIS to read, plant, and vote. So basically, we're going to go over the articles first, and I picked out 3. We're going to color code them and give them a nickname. So I'll kind of explain that right now. So as you can tell, Article 1 of the UDHR, I kind of put a purple background, and you kind of see purple 3 at the bottom. So I'll explain what that means. So first, I'm going to read it and then explain why I chose purple and why I chose free. Okay? So all humans beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They're endowed with reasons and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. So the reason why I'm coloring these and giving them a nickname is we're going to be citing out of these. So we're going to take information out of these articles and we're going to pull a statement out of the story we read, the Teaching NEPALIS How to Read, Write, and Vote. And you're going to back these statements up. So it's kind of hard to say, it's kind of hard sometimes to remember Article 1 of the UDHR. So sometimes when you're trying to cite things, it's easy to color code them and give them a name. So I chose purple because it's purple. And then free because the big word here, you see my mouse, free. So when we're talking about Article 1 for the rest of the day, I'm going to refer to it as purple free. Okay? I know that's lots of information, but I'll explain what I mean further on, okay? The second one, the Article 26 of the UDHR. Now, maybe you guys read it with your family, or maybe Miss Mooney covered this, but if she didn't, this is okay. Mrs. Wilson will read it to you. So you could just simply follow along with your reading finger. Everyone has the right to an education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and the fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. So basically, this saying everybody has the right to an education. So I color coded orange, and so I called it orange education. Oh, and it already skipped to the next one. So the next one that I chose is Article 16 of the UDHR. Same thing. We may or may not have covered it, but that's okay. I'm going to read it out loud with you and explain why I named it Blue Mary. Men and women of full age, without any limitation due to race, nationality, or religion, have the right to marry and to found a family. They are entitled to equal rights as to marriage, during marriage, and also in its dissolution. So I color code this blue and then Mary because there's a lot, this has to do with Mary. See right here? So they're saying that anybody is allowed to get married and they're allowed to have all these rights before, during, and after. So these are the three articles that we're going to work with today. And then I'm going to show you, so we're not going to use the whole article, the whole story that we read because it was 2 pages. So, I mean, I'll encourage you later to work on those. So I just pulled out 3 to help us practice finding informational text and backing it up with true statements out of the articles. So anytime I'm talking about Article 1 today, it'll be purple free. Anytime I'm talking about Article 26, I'm talking about orange education, or I'll name it orange education. And anytime I'm referring to Article 16, I'm going to refer to it as Blue Mary. So anytime you guys get confused, please raise your hand or talk with your parent or any school program that you're a part of, have them go back to this. If you need, remember, you might have to go back to this quite often. So if you need help, just have them, rewind it and go back, or you can always pause as well. So these are the 3 little things that I'm going to read out of Teaching NEPALIS to Read, Plant, and Vote. So I chose paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. Now we'll go ahead and read those together right now. And then I'll explain to you again what we're going to be doing. I know this is lots of information. So if you need to pause, that is okay. If you need the video to be rewinded, that's also very okay, because this is all new stuff. So we're going to be using the evidence from the articles to back up these statements that we can pull from these paragraphs. Now they're really going to help us for next week when we start working out with Esperanza Rising. We really are going to be using these skills next week. Okay, so paragraph 1. 70 years ago, a boy named Vishnu Prasad Dangal was not allowed to go to school. As a result, thousands of Nepalis had to learn to read and write. This is the remarkable story of Vishnu, his son Dinesh, and Dinesh's wife Ratna. Paragraph 2. When Vishnu was a child, there was only one school in Nepal, and it was far away in Kathmandu. It was actually against the law to start school in the villages of Nepal because the government believed that it was easier to control people if they didn't know how to read and write. Paragraph 3. So back then, parents arranged to have their children married very young. Vishnu was married when he was just 9 years old, and then married again to a second wife when he was 15. He helped on the family farm, but he longed to go to school. Finally, he was so determined to get an education that he ran away to Kathmandu, walking for 3 entire days. He completed 1 year of school, enough to get a government job. Okay. So I'm going to have you guys think of this, but don't worry, we're going to work on it together. So basically in this lesson, you guys will work with the first-hand account, which is that story that we read yesterday and I read right now. So teaching NEPALIS to read, plant, and vote. The focus is finding evidence in the text that directly relates to the specific articles of the UTHR. So you're going to find something that seems really prevalent or something that really sticks out and see if you can back it up, basically finding evidence in the articles. You'll physically manipulate evidence in order to begin to understand how to cite specific passages to prove an argument. So we're just starting out with this. It's okay if you don't get it at first, but this, boys and girls, this is a skill that you will be using all throughout school, all throughout high school. Even when I took college, we were definitely citing information. So this is an extremely important skill to learn. So we really want to take the time and to really break it down and see if you can start making those connections. And if you need help, just ask for help and have somebody help you. So what you're going to do is you're going to read the first paragraph. I'm not sure which paragraph I picked first. Oh, I picked paragraph 3. So we're going to do paragraph 3 together. So you're going to go back, read paragraph 3 to yourself. And I want you to think for a minute about what's kind of the main ideas. And then I want you to go and look at the articles, reread that and think in your head and try to come. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to kind of come up with maybe an evidence or something to back out. And it's okay if you're not understanding this. If you just want to pause, I'm going to do all of these together with you. Go ahead and pause and I'll see you soon. Read, think, and write. All right, so this is practice. So paragraph 3. Okay, follow along with your reading finger. Now you guys already read this. So I want you to pay close attention. See my little pointer here? I'm going to point at it and we'll read it together. Back then, parents arranged to have their children married very young. Vishnu was married when he was just 9 years old, and then married again to his second wife when he was 15. So, I chose Article 16 of the UDHR because men and women of full age without any limitation to race, nationality, or religion, and I underlined the key detail I thought was very important, have the right to marry and to found a family. They are entitled to equal rights as to marriage, during marriage, and its dissolution. So as you can tell, in this paragraph, Vishnu was married when he was just 9 years old, and it looks like his appearance arranged. Now, if you're not familiar with that word arranged, it's right here. That means that his parents, before he was even old enough, already picked out his wife for him, and they picked his marriage. So I wrote this statement right here. It says, and I'll explain why I wrote this. So I picked Blue Mary because it sounds like he didn't get to choose his own wife, right? Because right here it says arranged. His parents chose for him. I think his human rights, these are all in the UDHR, were violated. And the reason why I think that is because he didn't get to choose his wife, okay? So when we read this, so this is basically a first-hand account. So we learned about Vishnu, right? We read it about twice. We read it a couple of times. Hopefully you're pretty familiar. So many of you guys, I think you remember from last week, we were referring to specific passages to text to explain your thinking. That is something good readers do. So today we're going to continue practicing that skill. Specifically, we're thinking about particular passages in the first-hand account related to the articles. from the UDHR that we've been studying. So all these things are going to help us for our next week's thing too. And like I said, you're going to be using this scale forever. A good reader can make those connections, and that is okay if you're not there yet. But I'm hoping that you can kind of see the connection. It says Mary here, Mary there, Mary, and doesn't matter if sometimes just because it says Mary doesn't mean it, but in this instance, in these firsthand accounts, that is why. So I'm gonna have you guys do the same thing with the next one. And I chose paragraph 1. So I want you to go back, reread paragraph 1. I'm going to give you some time to think and look at the articles. You can go back and look at the articles I have and spend some time writing some statements that you think. And it's okay if you got something different than Mrs. Wilson, but if you can back it by the articles, or you can show your proof to somebody like, hey, I could state this. I can say Bishnu loved cereal because it says right here that Bishnu loves cereal, then I think that's fantastic. So reread it. You got 1 minute to think about it and write about it. And I'll see you soon. We'll work together. Okay, so paragraph 1. 70 years ago, a boy named Bishnu Prasad Dungal was not allowed to go to school. As a result, thousands of Nepalis have learned to read and write. Now, out of all of the articles, this one's talking about school. And education goes along with school. And I remember I named one of the articles Orange Education. So I went back and I found that one and I put it here. And I read this and I can start coming up with some statements. So I chose this one, Orange Education, because everyone has the right to an education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. So I underlined this one that says everyone has the right to an education. Now, looking back at our story, was Bishnu Prasad Dungal allowed to go to school? It says right now, he was not allowed to go to school. So this is where I came up with my statement. I said, I picked Orange Education because he was not allowed to go to school and his rights were violated. So he was not allowed to go to school, and this rights of the UDHR says that everybody has the right to an education. So can you guys start seeing the connections there, where this one's talking about school and this article talks about education? Is it helpful to have the color coded so we could just remember, hey, did you see that moment where I was like, hey, we talked about education. I named one of them Orange Education. You guys could do that with lots of things, whatever to make it better for you guys to understand. That is what we're here for. And if you still need clarification, feel free to raise your hand and ask for help. So now the next one, we are going to be working with the last paragraph that we haven't worked with yet, which is paragraph 2. So you're going to go back, reread it to yourself. Then I want you to look through the articles and see if you start making any, hold on, I gotta plug in my computer here. It is fixing to die and we don't want it to do it. Let me pause my video. Hold on, guys. All right, boys and girls, hopefully that wasn't too distracting. That was a close one. So hopefully you guys read those. We'll practice together like we did last time. So paragraph 2 says, it was actually against the law to start school in the villages of Nepal because the government believed that it was easier to control people if they didn't know how to read and write. So kind of like the last one is talking about schools. So I decided to use Article 26 and I underlined the main point. I wanted to get everybody to understand that everyone has the right to an education. So they actually made it against the law there. Is that right? When right here is telling us that everybody has the right to an education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stage. And even in the older stages, they should be able to an education. So I wrote this. Like the slide before, I choose Orange Education because they did not allow the students to go to school. I feel like the people of Nepal's rights were violated. So it's okay if you guys said stuff different. That is all right, Mrs. Wilson. We will work through these. If you need more questions or if you need any more help, please ask. We are here to help you. So that's going to be my exit ticket today, boys and girls. I want you to work on a few more paragraphs. I know we used 2 from the Orange, but there's lots of articles in the UDHR, and that story is 2 pages long, and you will start seeing it. I want you guys to get familiarized with making statements and backing it up with evidence. And you guys did so wonderful today, and I'm just so thankful for you guys and excited to be working with you this summer. Have a great summer day, and I will see you tomorrow. Or even next week, because I don't know when you'll watch this video, but we'll see you soon.